Hello and welcome to Food for Thought. It's Mark Lockridge here. I'm the pastor of New Life Fellowship in Letterkenny and Milford Reformed Presbyterian Church. It's great to have you with us. Late in the afternoon of 20th of June 1944, Admiral Mitcher of the US Navy had dispatched a bombing mission against the fleeing Japanese fleet during what would become known as the Battle of the Philippine Sea. Aboard the USS Yorktown, a Captain Jennings sat looking out into the blackness in front of the ship's bow. It was pitch black, and pilots' fuel supplies were running dangerously low. First one plane, and then another dropped into the sea from lack of fuel. At last the remaining planes approached the carriers, but in the darkness, the pilots could not make out which ships were aircraft carriers and which weren't. Unless something was done, many good men were going to be killed trying to land in the darkness. Slowly, Admiral Mitcher got up from his seat and gave the order, "Turn on the lights." These 4 words were deadly in meaning. Lighting up the fleet would enable the American pilots to find their way home, but it would also help Japanese pilots and submarines find the US fleet. Still, the Admiral believed that it was worth the risk. He had promised he would get the pilots home safe, and he was going to keep his word. The ships quickly turned on all their lights. High in the air, the pilots could not believe their eyes. One returning flyer described the scene as a Hollywood premiere, Chinese New Year, and the 4th of July all rolled into one. Here below them were dozens of ships with thousands of men aboard, endangering their lives to save slightly over 200 men and planes. Incredulous but grateful, the pilots looked for the respective aircraft carriers, but it was confusing. This time, Admiral Mitcher broke another rule. He sent a message, "Land on any carrier." Quickly, pilots jockeyed for landing positions. Of the 40 planes the Yorktown had sent out on June the 20th to attack the Japanese fleet, 14 made it back to their own ship, 13 landed on other ships, 11 landed in the sea nearby, and their crews were picked up. 38 of the 40 had made it back to the ship. Figures were similar for the other aircraft carriers, all because of Admiral Mitcher's order to turn on the lights. When Jesus said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness," this is something like what he was getting at, except he went one better. We live in a world where there are no safe places to land. He came, and instead of putting himself at risk to guide people home, he gave his life to guide people home, to give us a safe place to land. He took all the enemy fire so there would be none directed at us. Perhaps you feel like a pilot running low on fuel, and you're desperately searching for a place to land. Jesus says to you, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness." Thanks for listening. And if you want to get in touch, drop me an email, mark@newlifefellowship.ie. Have a great week.